Good afternoon, everyone. I am Angelica Elapus, a graduate of Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in English. Now I'm taking up Master of Arts in English in Pinma Arroyo University Graduate School. So before we proceed to our presentation for today, may I request everyone to please bow your head and feel the presence of the Lord. So, dear Heavenly Father, as we gather virtually for this online class today, we thank you for the gift of learning and the technology that connect us. Please grant us clear minds, focused attention, and open hearts to understand the lessons. Bless our teacher with wisdom to guide us and help us overcome any distractions or technical issues. May everything we learn draw us closer to you and help us grow. In Jesus' name, amen. So once again po, good afternoon everyone. So my topic for today is about the psychological foundation of education with the subtopic the learners, the learning process, the learning situation, and the basic theories of learning. So I have prepared three objectives for today. So first is explain the key components of the psychological foundation of education, appreciate the importance of individual differences and developmental stages among learners, and lastly, apply the psychological principle to design inclusive and effective learning environments. Okay, so ano nga po ba ang psychological foundations of education? So when we say psychological foundations of education, it refers to the application of principles no from psychology. So particularly in educational psychology to understand how people learn, develop and behave in educational setting. So it draws on theories, no? As you can see on the picture, we have the behaviorism, cognitivism, constructivism, social learning theory, and so on. And also in research no about cognitive educational social and behavioral processes to guide teaching methods, curriculum design, and even classroom management or the overall educational practices. So, in simple terms no it help us to it helps us teacher no answers questions like how do students mind work when they learn, and ano nga ba yung nakaka-motivates sa kanila, and how we can create an environment where everyone thrives. So this field bridges psychology and education, so making teaching and learning more effective and inclusive. Okay, so the first subtopic is the learner. So, as we all know, in the psychological foundation of education, the learner are the most important part, no, of the learning process. So, teachers who know their learners well can teach in ways that fit everyone. So, making learning more successful and enjoyable. So, as we all know, no, that learners are not all the same. They have different characteristics, or they have their unique characteristic. No, they grow at different rates, have different strength, background, and ways of thinking. So no two learners are exactly alike. So they are different. No, and their differences may come from their learning styles. So some are a visual learner, some are auditory or the kinesthetic, no, by doing or moving. And then they may be also different when it comes to intelligence and abilities. So kaya nga meron tayo ng tinatawag nating multiple intelligence, no, from Howard Gardner. And then background. So we they have different culture, language, what else? family experiences or special needs, no? Some are gifted and some have the what we call dyslexia, no? And then motivation and personality. So some are shy, no? We have encountered different personality of our learner. Some are outgoing and some are motivated by grades or other by interest. So, bakit nga ba mahalaga, no? Or why understanding our learners matters? So, by knowing developmental stages and differences, no? Teachers can create inclusive classes where everyone feels valued and can succeed. So, this leads to better engagement, confidence, and learning. So, in short, the learners remind us education isn't one size fits all, no? It's about seeing each student as unique and helping them to grow. Okay, so next one po is the learning process and the learning situation. So the learning process, it refers to the dynamic and ongoing mechanism through which individuals acquire, process, retain, and apply new knowledge, skills, behaviors, attitudes, or understanding. So it is fundamentally an internal cognitive, emotional, and sometimes physical activities that leads to relatively permanent changes in how a person perceive or interacts with the world. No, so this process begins at birth and continues lifelong. So it is influenced by experiences, repetition, reflection, and feedback. No, so in simple terms, it is how we learn new things inside our minds. No, and as well as our bodies. So it's the step our brain goes through to take in new information, understand it, remember it, and use it later. No, so on your screen, you can see no the key elements of the learning process. So ano-ano nga po ba yung five key elements of the learning process? So first one is the acquisition, no? So getting the new stuff or information, no? So you see wherein you see, heard, o kaya naman po ay read or try something new, no? So example po natin, uh, watching someone ride a bicycle. So that is your acquisition, no? And then the second one is the encoding or the processing. So your brain works on the new information. So you pay attention, think, and connect ideas, no? So kagaya ng example ko kanina, watching someone to ride a bicycle. Now naman dito sa encoding, while watching, the bike rider, you think, no? So sa parang they use a pedal and balance at the same time. And then the third one is the retention or the storage of information, no? Or saving it in your memory. So you make new information or the information stay or stick for a long time, no? So this is happen by repeating, linking it to something new, no? Or making it meaningful. So kagaya ng practicing riding the bicycle. So in many times wherein hindi mo na siya makakalimutan, no? Kung paano gumamit or mag-ride ng bicycle. So, and then the fourth one is the retrieval or application. Ito naman po sa retrieval or application, you are using it when you need yung information, no? So, you pull the knowledge out of your memory and actually use it in real life. So, the more you practice, the easier it gets, no? So, kagaya nung sa pagra-ride nga ng bicycle. So, one day, you hop on a bicycle, no? And ride without thinking it too hard, no? So, kaya mo na siyang gawin, no? And then, change Yung ating last step is change or adaptation, becoming different because of it, no? So learning changes you, no? So you get better or something, and then think differently or feel new confidence. So dahil example natin naman dito is you can now ride, no, anywhere, kahit saan is kaya mo nang mag-ride, and then you feel brave and even teach friends, no? So that is the elements, no, key elements of the learning process. So yun yung limang key elements of a learning process. So acquisition, encoding, retention, retrieval, and change or adaptation, no? Now let us proceed to the learning situation. So in contrast naman po doon sa ating learning process, a learning situation or the learning context or environment is the external setting, no? Circumstances or scenario in which learning occurs. So kung kanina yung ating learning process is inside our minds, no? Ito naman is external setting sa outside, no? It encompasses the physical, social, cultural, and instructional conditions that shape or facilitate the learning process, no? So example of learning situation natin, we have the formal, no? Yung sa classroom natin, lectures or even yung online courses wherein it has a defined goals and assessment. So formal, and then informal yung ating everyday experiences, and then yung ating non-formal, ito yung mga workshop o kaya naman yung apprenticeship, no? And then situated, yung mga authentic context like yung sa on the job training. So that is the learning situation. So these two, no, the learning process and learning situation, they work together. So if the situation is good, no, like it is fun, supportive, or hands-on, our brain learn faster and better. And then if the situation is bad, no, andyan yung boring, noisy, or stressful, no, kahit yung mga matatalino or yung tao na merong smart brain, they struggle to learn, no? So great learning happens when a good process meets a good situation. Okay naman po, on our next slide is the five main theories of learning that is related, no, do sa ating psychological foundation of education. So we have here behaviorism, cognitivism, constructivism, experientialism, and the social and contextual. So let us start with behaviorism. So behaviorism is a way of understanding how people or even animals learn, no? So it says that learning happens because of what happens around us. And then not because of what's inside our minds, no? So in simple words, we learn by connecting actions with a result, no? So if the result is good, wherein we can get a reward, we use it more often. And then if the result is bad or it has a punishment, no, we do it less often, or tinatawag nating stimulus response, no? So famous example, no, dito sa behaviorism is yung classical conditioning ni Ivan Pavlov, and then yung operant conditioning ni Skinner. Okay, and the next one po is the cognitivism. So ano nga po ba ang cognitivism? So cognitivism is a way of understanding learning that focuses on what happens inside the mind, no? Unlike po nung behaviorism na nakapokus doon sa action, no, and reward, etong si cognitivism naman, sabi niya learning is about thinking, no, understanding and organizing information in our brain. So and then sabi dito po no, uh, our brain daw po is like a computer wherein it takes information or input and then process it and then store it and then uses it later. So we don't just react to things outside us. We think about them. No, we also make connection and build mental maps and or models. No, so example po is halimbawa is when we solve a puzzle, no? So we think of different strategies and remember kung ano nga ba yung ginawa natin nung nakaraan to solve the puzzle, no? So kung may maling move, iniisip natin na hindi na natin siya pwedeng gawin, no? So that is example of cognitivism. So we learn by thinking, no? Understanding and making sense of things, no? So hindi lang siya about sa rewards or habits, no? So yung ating brain daw is maikukumpara sa isang building, a library of knowledge inside, no? Wherein we organize books so we can use it and find them easily. So sa ngayon po, many teachers use cognitivism ideas, no, kagaya ng explaining why things work, not just making us memorize, no. So hindi lang siya about memorizing. So ine-explain din niya kung paano or why things work or happen, which is it is great for understanding deep or complex, no, topics. So that is cognitivism. Okay, next naman po is the constructivism. So constructivism is a way of understanding learning that says we build our own knowledge from our experiences. So it is not like a teacher just pouring a facts into our head, no? So hindi lang basta lagay ng lagay or salin ng salin ng information si teacher, no? So instead, we actively construct, no, or build our understanding. So kagaya ng paggawa po ng ano ba ito? Ng Lego, no? O kaya naman ng Lego, gagawa kayo ng bahay. So you use brick by brick, no? So parang yun yung idea ng constructivism. So sabi dito, learning happens when you do things and think about them, no? So and then we also connect information, especially new information to what we already know. And then our personal experiences, culture, and background, it shaped, no, how we understand the world. So ito naman pong constructivism inside the classroom, no? So yung mga teachers po who are using constructivism idea, they don't just lecture, no? Hindi lang sila basta nagle-lecture, they also ask questions, give projects, and then group work and even real life problems so that their students can build their own learnings. And then the next one naman po is the experientialism. So experientialism, it is not a super common kagaya po ng behaviorism or ng constructivism. But in education and learning theories, it is usually means learning through real experiences. So basically, the same idea as experiential learning. So etong experientialism, it's the belief that the best way to learn is by doing things yourself, no, based on your experience. So trying, making mistakes, reflecting on what happened, and even trying again, no. So sabi ng experientialism, true learning comes from experiences. So you do it and then think about it, and definitely we will learn from it, no? So next time we can do it better. And then it is super useful in schools nowadays, no? or jobs, and even life. So because it makes knowledge stick and help us solve real life problems. So, and then many modern classroom classes uses this with hands-on activities kagaya po ng paggawa ng reflections or yung mga journal and projects. Okay, next one naman po, and the last one is the social and the contextual theory, no? Or tinatawag din po siyang social learning theory or sociocultural theory, no? So, idea naman po behind this is that we learn best from other people and in real life situations. So that is social and contextual theory, no? So it is not just about what happens inside your head or mind or just doing things alone, no? So the people around you, so pwedeng yung ating kaibigan, family, or even teachers, no? And even the place and the situation you're in, it plays no a huge role no on how we learn. So the key person behind this theories is the Lev Vygotsky, no? He was the main thinker behind this social and contextual or yung social learning theory, no? So according to him, your culture or our culture, learning, and the people we interact with, no, shape our mind. No, and then additional po dito, no, we learn from people around us, no, with their help and in the real life situation, not just alone or from books, no. So hindi lang doon tayo natututo, no. This is why kaya ngayon, no, yung paggawa ng group projects, discussion, and even yung mentoring and real world practice, they are so powerful in schools and even in real life. So that's all po on my report. So to give you more idea on how are we going to apply the different learning process or activities, no, I have prepared here a short videos, no, for everyone. Thank you po and God bless.
The Science of Learning and Development Initiative came together to answer a question. What science should we pay attention to in order to understand how learning happens?
Have a good day.
The Science of Learning and Development is really an attempt to synthesize a huge body of knowledge that's accumulated over many, many years from the learning sciences, from psychology and anthropology and brain science, and put all of that together and understand how people, in fact, develop.
And what else?
And how they learn.
There are a few core principles that define all of human development. The first is malleability, the unique property of the brain to change in response to relationships and experiences. Neural tissue is the most susceptible to change of any tissue in the human body. When children are born, their brains are not fully developed. The development of the brain actually continues into young adulthood. It is relationships and experiences that drive the development of the brain. If children have the experience of adversity, they will have uneven development of foundational skills, like self-regulation, relationship skills, that are prerequisites for more complex skills, like perseverance and self-direction. These are the children who are at risk to fall further and further behind. But what's most interesting is that a child can become a productive and engaged learner from any developmental starting point as long as we intentionally build those skills.
Turn to your table group and discuss this. Come up with a statement.
When we're able to combine social, emotional, affective, and cognitive development together, we are creating many, many more interconnections in the developing brain that enable children to accelerate learning and development. As educators, we have an extraordinary opportunity to shape the developing brains of children and to create that kind of stimulus that drives the integration of the brain.
Life isn't all about going at it alone. We're up there to support you when you don't necessarily have the skills or tools that you need.
The science of learning and development tells us that school needs to organize for strong relationships.
You look pretty, Miss Turner.
Thank you, baby.
When a strong relationship exists with a teacher, with a mentor, with an advisor, with a school administrator, it actually can reverse the effects of adverse experiences. Children are amazingly resilient if they get that opportunity for attachment, for comfort, and for problem solving with a caring adult. If we walk into a classroom that's really informed by these principles, we'll see kids actively engaged in their learning.
What is this graph telling us?
They will be using critical thinking and problem solving. They will be putting ideas into action.
This one is much longer than the other one you were using.
They will have lots of tools and manipulatives that they can work with to help them understand the ideas. And as they undertake these tasks, they're building both the social and emotional foundation, and they're also building cognitive abilities.
Any volunteers? Go up and do a priority list.
These are all skills that can be taught. These are as important as learning your ABCs and your arithmetic facts.
It's 80, so it has to be under.
Nice.
And so it's important to understand that even though somebody says something you might disagree with, everybody's contributing to this shared dialogue in this safe space. Please write down the DLT today. The DLT is I can discuss.
Today, we have a very big task in front of us, but it is a very positive and optimistic task.
Good morning, friends.
Because we now have a knowledge of how children become learners and the opportunity to create an education system that's informed by a knowledge of the developing brain.
So that's collaboration and compassion. Yeah.